I want you to drop the mindset that procrastination is laziness. Procrastination is fear. Procrastination is just a fancy word for fear. It's lengthy, it sounds stylish, it sounds like you're too educated to use the word fear, but it is a complicated way of saying I'm afraid, okay? This is an impromptu video and I'm already dealing with some technical difficulties, so I'm really sorry in advance if I make any mistakes, if I grammatical or anything. I'm sorry in advance. Hi, welcome back. My name is Shree and let's waste some time together. So I kind of wanted to make a shorter podcast episode. Like I said in my previous episode, that I promised you guys I'm going to try making them shorter and shorter, about 20 to 30 minutes or so. The reason being that since this is a new podcast, I'm also trying to do video, which is not helping. It's like my camera is glitching a little bit. I don't even know why I bought this webcam. If it doesn't work, then what's the point, right? But you're gonna have to deal with the glitchy video for today. I just wanted to make something impromptu. I hope it's recording. Oh my God. I just wanted to make something impromptu because it's been on my mind, and I feel like if I don't capture this thought and let it out, I feel like I might forget it. And it helped me a lot in the recent times with exercising and everything else. So I feel like it's not rocket science, let me just tell you. It's just something simple that I figured out with myself. So I feel like, hey, if it helped me, it may help someone out there who's listening. Even if it helps one person, you know, like it feels good to share. The thing is, I keep hearing the word procrastination everywhere. Everybody hears about it. Everybody complains about it. I know I have countless times. I brought my procrastination problems out into the internet to ask, hey, what am I supposed to do? I asked my friends, what can I do to stop procrastinating? And ultimately, even after a lot of help, after a lot of, advice and good books on self-help, it still ends up with you or me procrastinating a lot in the end, which, it feels like something you can't control. So what happens in the end is that you end up trash talking yourself. I end up really, trashing myself, like I'm lazy, I'm stupid, I'm, I don't deserve to win anything at any point. I'm not good like other people. You start comparing yourself with other people and it's a vicious cycle. If you keep doing that, just like I keep doing that, I want you to stop right now. I want you to stop trash talking yourself. It does not help anybody. Most importantly, it does not help you. If it helped you, I don't think you would be clicking this video right now. If trash talking helped you, like David Goggins says, wake up, whatever the fuck, and just pull yourself up your whatever and just keep going, calling yourself stupid, ugly, fat, lazy, whatever. If that worked, especially if calling yourself lazy worked, I don't think you would be clicking on this video. I don't think you would be at the position I was in. I still am there, but I'm at least making some progress with this. I want you to drop the mindset that procrastination is laziness. Procrastination is actually not laziness, and this is not me giving you hard facts. It is what it is. Procrastination is fear. Procrastination is just a fancy, longer word for fear. It's lengthy, it sounds stylish, it sounds like you're too educated to use the word fear, but it is a complicated way of saying I'm afraid, okay? It is what it is. Because if you keep saying that you are lazy, you are minimizing the fear that you feel when you start a task. It's a little hard to explain what I'm trying to say because, like I said, the thought just occurred in my mind. I feel like I have to capture it, so I might stumble upon my words. But this is it. We tend to procrastinate when we have something important to do. Now, it can be anything. I'm going to give some example. Like you have an exam. I have a book to write. Like I've been procrastinating on that for so long. Now, finally, I feel like I'm getting somewhere. You have to exercise. You have to make that cold call, whatever it is. We tend to procrastinate when it's something very, very important to us. an interview, for example, and we tend to do some kind of lazy work, like lazy tasks. We call it, like comfort tasks. I call it comfort tasks. We play games, we watch TV, we go to Netflix and we watch a podcast, whatever. We resort to like comfort tasks. And the thing is, when we resort to those comfort tasks, it kind of makes it easier for us to call it laziness. The truth is, it's not laziness. Just lost my video. I'm sorry. Where was I? It's actually not laziness. It is fear at its finest. Here's what I mean. Fear tends to do the same thing exactly when you are like, when a threat approaches you, whatever it is. It can be an animal, it can be a person, it can be you're walking down the street late at night and you see a figure and you're like, is it a ghost? Is it a thief? I don't know. When you have the feeling inside, that's the exact same feeling you get when you have a very important task at hand, simply because you just don't want to fail at that task, because that task is very important to you. If you fail, you feel like you've brought shame, you have done something wrong. It feels like you are, if you fail, or if you like screw up even just a little bit, you are inviting a lot of ridicule and mockery and like, you are good for nothing. That kind of a feeling. We don't want that feeling. At the same time, we don't want others to see us that way. So it's a legitimate thing. It's like back in the day too. If you can't compete, if you can't do anything for your tribesmen, if you can't do anything for anybody, then, like you are seen as a loser. You don't want to be a loser, and you don't want to be a loser right now. But it's not exactly that. It's basically now with yourself, or maybe with a family member, maybe with a friend, that's it. But even then, the fear is the same fear that you felt 500,000 years ago, 5 days ago, or today when you're doing this task, okay? Because fear triggers the same responses. It triggers anxiety in us, and it triggers what is called fight or flight response, right? We have this fight or flight response, and the thing is, when you want to like fight something, it's an immediate response. Unfortunately, with lengthy tasks like giving an exam or going for an interview or writing a book or, God forbid, starting a YouTube channel, whatever it is, the fight response, it gets lengthened. It's not an immediate thing like approaching the threat or approaching the animal or whatever, approaching the person. It's not that. So it gets lengthened, but it is a fight response. When you sit down and do your task, and you study, you write the book, you record the video, no matter how much the video glitches, you're still doing it. This is still a fight response. The flight response is procrastination. When you resort to playing video games, looking at your phone, watching that, marathon of whatever show you're on. Right now, I'm on the Apple show Servant. It's pretty great, but it is a form of procrastination. Flight responses are usually comfort tasks that we do to soothe that very legitimate anxiety that's going on inside you. You need that release. You need that, not release, you need that comfort, that blanket to surround yourself with, to hug you, because you're just so anxious that there is a legitimate threat. So this is why I'm saying that trash talking yourself because you're procrastinating is not going to help. The alternate method is the best one, which is finding the courage to talk to yourself properly like a human being, to soothe yourself, relaxing, and finally finding that courage to have the fight response instead of the flight response. Do you remember the saying that people, it's like an age-old thing. People say that if you try to sleep, if you have trouble falling asleep, right, and you are trying to sleep your hardest, you're in bed and you're just lying there, you're like, I am going to sleep right now. Guess what happens? You don't sleep right now. In fact, you don't sleep for 5 hours and the whole night is ruined and you're like, oh my God, I'm such a loser. I can't help. That's exactly the same thing when you are procrastinating and you're trash talking yourself. When you call yourself lazy or this or that, you end up going to like like diving deeper into those comfort tasks to alleviate your anxiety further, because now you have more anxiety piling up because you are now beating yourself up over it. Now you have more anxiety and now you're doing more comfort tasks. It's like the cycle never ends. That's the problem. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I'm not here to tell you, like, give you a lot of methods to solve this or anything, but the most important thing I will say, which helps me when I start trash talking, is actually to relax. You have to, if you have a daunting task, it doesn't have to be daunting in other people's eyes, but it has to be daunting enough for you. Even if it's something simple like going outside of your door and you feel afraid to do that, that's legitimate, because we have a legitimate pandemic going on and some people are now afraid to leave their homes, like, and infect their kids or infect themselves or infect their pets. It's a legitimate threat. It doesn't have to be legitimate for someone else who is probably very macho and think that they won't be affected by COVID, but it's legitimate for you. So you have to treat it as a legitimate threat. So before doing that, whatever it is, exams, whatever, you have to just relax your mind, relax your body, however you feel like. And now when it comes to relaxation, I would suggest meditation and exercise like yoga, but it's really hard to do because that's another task, right? So in order to go to that place, I would say that think of the ways you procrastinate. What are the things you do when you procrastinate? For me, it's very simple. It's either eating or watching garbage on television. So by television, I mean YouTube or Netflix, and you know what those are. Those are literal rabbit hole algorithms that will take you further and further into videos that are not even entertaining. Sometimes they're just people just doing random things like, I don't know, cutting up soap, but whatever it is, I will not blame people for making content, but hey, you have to get out of it, right? So I would say think of the ways you procrastinate and incorporate those comfort tasks into your daunting task. I would say do that comfort task after you do your daunting task or in between breaks. Like, you can't escape a comfort task. It exists for a reason. It exists to soothe you. It exists to pleasure you. It exists to calm your anxiety. If you like watching soap cutting videos or oddly satisfying videos or pimple popping videos, I'm literally talking about myself right now. But if whatever you do, if you like eating, for example, you have to realize that you do that because you legitimately want to comfort yourself with something. Now, I'm not saying that you need to excuse that behavior, but it's not exactly a crime to perform a comfort task. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Instead of doing it before the daunting task, relax at first. Like, just, I'm not saying you calm down. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying try to relax. Just take a deep breath and think of, like, just stop worrying about everything. Just sit down and be like, okay, I can either play the video game or watch the podcast or watch the video or whatever, or I can just do 5 minutes of whatever it is I'm, procrastinating on. Just do it badly. That's the most important part. You need to try doing the daunting task badly, because the failure, the way you're kind of imagining the failure, it's not exactly going to happen that way. Just whatever preparation you need to do, whatever thing you need to build, or whoever you need to talk to, it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be perfect. That's where the problem lies. It's not going to be perfect, but it's not going to be as bad as you imagine. Just try doing 5 minutes of it or 10 minutes of it, and then do the comfort task after the daunting task, or in between breaks. So for example, I like to eat everything. I think it's kind of obvious. Keto diet is really helping though, but even within the keto diet, I eat everything. I love chocolate, for example. So I would incorporate a piece of chocolate after I write my novel, after I shoot this video, whatever it is that I have to do, I will do it, and then I will have my chocolate. It's kind of like a reward mechanism for sure. But even with reward, you have to be careful how much you do it. You need to kind of divide the reward a little bit between breaks. That's what I do. But if your task demands your full attention, at least do that first and then have that full reward right away. Like you want to watch a Netflix show. Watch 3 episodes back to back if you want to, but after the task. It's simple, but it is effective. Unfortunately, you can't run away from a comfort task. You can't try to be a monk and be like, I'm not going to do that ever again. That's not, if for all people, it's not possible. For some, maybe. For the David Gogginses of this world, maybe. But hey, I like music with my workout. David Goggins might hate it, but I have to have something playing in the background. So it's like, you can ignore it or you can embrace it. It's like, if you can't beat them, join them, right? The second thing I have to say is that your task is like a giant mountain. It looks like a giant mountain from right here. If I look at it, I'm like, I'm going to die doing that. I'm going to die climbing that hill, climbing that mountain. What am I supposed to do? Do the task in small chunks, in a small manner possible, and stop thinking about all the other chunks you have to do. Do the task today in a small manner possible, and the next thing you have to do is you have to congratulate yourself for the effort that you put today. For example, if I do with exercise, it's really hard for me to exercise. I've never grown up as a very athletic person. I have been athletic, but I've had some tragedy in the past, which kind of really took me away from whatever lifestyle I had. So after my weight gain, I had difficulty going back to exercise. But I did go back to exercise, and within 2 to 3 years, I have lost about 88 pounds. Now, for other people, losing 88 pounds means 6 months of hard work. For me, it took 3 years. And during the pandemic, I kind of let that go. I have to be a little honest. But now I'm kind of bringing it back. And the only way I brought it back is I would exercise just 10 minutes. 10 minutes of body weight workouts. I use apps sometimes. Sometimes I use a tutorial and I follow along. And then I just after I'm done, I have a little journal and I have little post-it notes. I have little cards and little stickers. I would put the sticker and I would write, today I did 10 minutes of push-ups or sit-ups or squats or whatever. And I'm really proud of myself, really happy with my work. And then I just log that entry in. It's a simple gesture, but if I flip page after page and I see a date and I see all the accomplishments I had, it may look like small accomplishments today, but when I see the entire journal stacking on with stickers upon stickers of me exercising, me writing, me making this video, me making more videos, it just makes me feel so good about myself. So you have to congratulate yourself for little efforts, because compound interest pays a lot. Trust me. Even if it is in investments, even if it is in whatever you do, even if it is with a task or just plain gratitude. Even compound interest in plain gratitude also works. That means you have to, at the end of the day, you have to adopt a positive attitude towards yourself. You have to change your vocabulary. You have to change your sentences, your language with yourself. You have to turn it into a positive. If you use negative language with yourself all the time, you're going to become very negative about everything you do. Nothing is ever going to be enough. Even if you today, let's say you squatted and you went to the gym and you did 2 hours of work, if you have a negative dialogue going on in your mind, you're going to be I could have done 2.5 hours, or someone I know did 3 hours. Stop, okay? Before your head explodes, start embracing positive dialogue within your mind. Your internal dialogue has to be positive. Congratulate yourself for every single thing you do, whether you dropped a donut and didn't eat it, whether you exercised for 5 minutes, whether you made that one phone call, whether you prepared for 5 minutes for an interview, whatever it is. Just congratulate yourself and try to do it as little as possible. And most importantly, just stop with the trash talking that, oh my God, I'm procrastinating, therefore I'm lazy, therefore I am, I am unworthy, I'm worthless, whatever. You are afraid. You're just scared, like all of us. Whatever task you have taken upon yourself, I'm pretty sure it's big as hell and it's scary. It's a giant mountain. Hey, everybody's going to be afraid, right? We're not rock climbers here. So calm down, first of all. Relax. Look at the task. Look at all the comfort tasks you do. Incorporate all of that. Embrace it. Embrace the fact that you're just trying to soothe the anxiety within you. Let it happen. Just have a good routine that fits your routine. Don't compare your routine with someone else. If someone can, do a task for 25 minutes and take 5 minutes break, and you're like, what the hell is that bullshit? I can't do that. I need 15 minutes break. Take 15 minutes breaks. I take 15 minutes breaks. I can't do the whole Pomodoro thing. I would do a task for about 45 minutes to 1.5 hours, and my breaks would last 30 minutes. Sometimes 40 minutes. I don't care. I did a task. Right now I'm recording this. I'll record this for probably 30 minutes. Sometimes I go about an hour, and then I would take an hour break. I don't even care. I would watch Netflix for the rest of that hour. I don't care. Do the routine that fits you best, but just do the task. It doesn't matter how much you proceed. As long as you do, you will be fine. I have a lot more videos coming ahead and a lot more podcasts. I am experimenting right now. I have another podcast channel called Shree Talks a Lot, but I don't know why that channel doesn't rank or anything. Maybe because I don't upload there. But I'm uploading my podcast to my main channel, Shree Nation. So if you have a problem with that, let me know. I'll upload this in my podcast channel. But you can listen to this on Spotify as well. But in my main channel, I have so many videos planned out, so many videos about other creators, about creativity, about films, about great stories, about how to maintain good habits or anything from a fellow lazy person. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment back any tips you have. I would love to listen to them, and I would love to interact with you guys and for you guys to interact with each other as well. Thank you so much for listening or watching, and I hope I didn't waste your time. See you next week.